by clicking the link in the stream's description. The professor wants to hear from you.
Beginnings on the cusp, not too old to adjust. Old dog, new tricks. Remember, I was just a pup, something dirty in my cup. Clean soul, good car.
Isn't it lovely? I ain't looking back, I'm focused on what's in front of me. Everybody dates a number, but I'm still here luckily. I know that God got me, so I'm in good company. Isn't it lovely?
Welcome, 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 and thank you for joining me. I am Professor Bear, and this is a Bear's Thought. And today, our sponsor for this amazing show is Chops Cards and Print on Demands. Now, were you like me as a kid and always getting to see baseball, football, basketball cards and thought to yourself, man, one day that's going to be me? But like me, you just didn't have the tools to get there. Well, guess what? Professor Bear today is going to tell you how you can still live your dreams out. You can go through Chops Cards and Print on Demands. Yes, they do a phenomenal job of creating cards that are just as good as any other company out there today. They can make it football, wrestling, basketball, whatever your desire is, they can do. And because you have came and listened to the professor, Professor Bear is going to get you 15% off your entire purchase. That is correct, 15%. All you have to do is put Bear 15 in, and you got your whole 15% off. Once again, that is Chops Cards and Print on Demand, your number one place for cards and all print. Now, today, I am blessed to have this gentleman back. He blessed me with his presence before, and we are going to be talking about something very, very special, I believe, to both of us, and I think to a lot of y'all out there. Today, we have war-driven Johnny Fate. Johnny, how are you doing today, sir?
Professor Bear, man, it's good to see you again. Glad to be back on. And, last time we talked, I was like, I can't wait to come back. And it's only been a few weeks, I think, maybe a month or something. And here I am.
Yes, sir. I think that with what's going on, I thought when I first heard about this card, you immediately came to mind. And lo and behold, we hadn't even talked about it. And I saw you on the card and I was like, this is just perfect. Won't you talk about what this card is?
So this Saturday night is Spring Hill, Florida, the VFW 10209er, as I like to say, is the venue. It's Veteran Pro Wrestling. They're bringing it back down here in Florida. They originally were founded up in Connecticut, I believe, in like 2012. And they took a hiatus, but now they are back down here not down here, but in Spring Hill, Florida this Saturday at September to Remember. And it is a huge veterans and first responders thank you night. big salute to our country's veterans and first responders, because, you know, without them, our country wouldn't be able to do the day-to-day operations that it does, you know, without, you know, those service members and even the first responders, the police, EMS, fire department, etc. And, you know, this Saturday night's just a big thank you to them. And, you know, the card is stacked. Head over to Veteran Pro Wrestling on Facebook and look at that card. There's I think Brian Idol's defending his NWA Television Championship on that show in a triple threat match. I think AIWF is crowning their first ever trios tag champions. I think it's the Pitbulls versus some guys, and my fellow Star Spangled Butt Kickers is a new faction that's going to be debuting. It's myself and a couple other military veteran service members, and we're going to be called the Star Spangled Butt Kickers, and we're gonna take over VPW, I think, this Saturday night. It's going to be a great show. There's just so much that I could talk about with this show, and even the card and the talent that's on the card.
Definitely. One of the like you mentioned, the Pit Bulls, and one person that has been in the industry quite a while and still gives back and does her thing is Missy Hyatt, which she will be the manager of the Pit Bulls. So,
and they're taking on the Bad News Buccaneers. All right, it's Sammy C, Vic Hop, Shaquille, and Alex the Body. So they're taking on those three guys to crown. I think it's the first ever AIWF 6-man tag team championship or something like that.
Yes, and I love the fact that we're giving back and giving due to everyone who put it on the line for us and does everything for our country. There's so many different people that don't get their just due or praise, and honestly, they don't even want it, but it is well deserved. And I think that they definitely need to be recognized, not just every blue moon, but every day.
Yeah, they do. And, you know, and as a veteran myself, I always try to do what I can to give back to other veterans. And, you know, every veteran has a different path once they leave the service. You know, some are good, some aren't, you know, and, you know, I just, no matter who it is, where it is, what branch of service they served in, how long they served in, it doesn't matter to me. They signed the dotted line, they raised the right hand, and they said, hey, I'll give my life for this country. So at the very least, I can say thank you. And, you know, what's the best way? What's the best way to say thank you? For me, the best way is through professional wrestling. It's through getting in there, getting in the ring, and putting everything on the line for them and saying thank you.
And one of the things that we as people could and should, and I would like for us to do, is give back, not just for at these events, but, you know, take your time to learn where some of these veterans are at and go thank them. Give money to support them. They've given their well-being and life for our freedoms. We can give back. We can do so much better. And I think this has really opened my eyes personally of learning what I can do to show respect and love to all our military people, because again, no matter what, no matter how you feel, they give their lives and their well-being to us, and the least we can do is say thank you and support.
Definitely. And I mean, the card's full of veterans as well. I mean, you got Jesse Neal, he'll be wrestling as well. He's teaming with the Pit Bulls in that 6-man tag. But we forget about Jesse Neal. He's also a Navy veteran. Will be wrestling this Saturday night. We also got Christopher Battle wrestling too. He's part of the Star Spangled Butt Kickers along with Jesse Neal and myself. Christopher Battle, I think, is a law enforcement officer Currently, I believe. I know he is former Army for sure. And he'll be in action this Saturday night. So, I mean, the card's got veterans on it as well, wrestling for other veterans. We're saying thank you as well, to our fellow comrades.
And right before the show, from 4 to 6, they're having a fan fest. So you could go up and talk to the guys and girls there, thank them, and just get autographs and do different things. And this is a family fun show. So definitely bring your family out and let them meet some of the wrestlers, veterans, and just have a great time.
Definitely. Another veteran I forget about last but least, U.S. Army veteran Noah Starinsky. He'll be on the card as well. He's part of Star Spangled Butt Kickers. So our faction, we're all veterans, so we're kind of going to be all over the place Saturday night, and you talk about that meet and greet from 4 to 6. That'll be a good thing as well, because you can meet everyone on the card and some veterans as well, say thank you, shake their hand, get some autographs, take some pictures, and let's just celebrate and let's just say thank you.
And I think the timing is perfect, right after Labor Day, to have that celebration and to keep it going strong. It's just, everything is just lining up to be a fantastic card and event that, again, I'm so grateful to be able to help promote and to get people aware of the veterans in wrestling, because there are a lot of them out there. And like I said, just fun. It's going to be such an amazing card. So, John, the question I wanted to ask you, sir, when we last talked, you were talking about you just trying to build, and right before we went online, you were saying this is going to be a big couple of months for you. You want to tell the fans why?
So I got, the only, I mean, I know it's kind of far away out, but the thing I'm really excited for is October 4th. It's for October. It is at NWA Crossfire. It is a Ricky the Dragon Steamboat seminar. And I cannot be more excited for this. Now, I'm excited to wrestle and all that, but to be able to sit under the learning tree of Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, I mean, I know I'm still a month out from when that's supposed to happen, but, I'm ready to pack my bags tomorrow and go, because like I'm excited. Ricky the Dragon is a bit super baby face. Everyone knows he's the baby face of baby faces, pretty much. And, for me to be able to go and study that and ask him questions about psychology and, being a great baby face and, just his experiences, I'm excited for that, above else right now. I mean, of course, I'm excited for the bookings and the wrestling, but, that Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, it's kind of a once in a lifetime thing because it's something he really doesn't do.
That is very true. And it's not too many wrestlers who stay babyface or a heel their whole career. And Ricky is one of the few people that I can recall never turning heel. And even with that too, he's always put on exciting events, his promos. And I mean, just like you said, you're getting to learn from one of the great legends, a former NWA world champion, former WWF Intercontinental champion, still to this day, one of the greatest matches people talk about when you say WrestleMania. The immediate thing is Steamboat Savage. I mean, it's just so amazing.
Yeah, and Dr. Tom, when I was going through his school at the beginning of the year, for those 3 months, he was like, he's like, Johnny, you need to study Steamboat. He's like, you want to be super baby face? He's like, study Steamboat. And of course, we studied Steamboat a lot, in his class, like especially, that we did watch that WrestleMania match with him and Savage. We definitely did. And we broke it down, it was a good 30-minute match or so. And, we broke it down with Dr. Tom over about an hour and a half or so. And, it very eye-opening, you know, and now to actually be able to do the seminar with Ricky the Dragon, I'm just like sold on it.
Right. And it is and this will be hopefully our first chance to meet face to face, because that event is pretty much in my backyard. So I'm looking forward to meeting you face to face and us cutting up and just having a great time.
Yes, sir. Because I think the last time I was up there, I think when at the last NWA Crossfire event I was at, you weren't at, I don't think, and that was like it was the last time I was going to be up that way for some time, because I was about to graduate from JPWA and then move back down to Georgia. But I always told the Page sisters, hey, whenever you got seminars or anything like that going on, you know, I will come up, especially, you know, if I can make a name for myself back up that way in the NWA Crossfire company, I'll definitely try to scratch and claw my way in there any way I can. I'll earn it however I can.
So one thing, what you talking about having seminars for us wrestling fans, could you break down what the seminars generally entail?
So we'll talk about something like a Ricky the Dragon Steamboat seminar. So that seminar, you know, because of who he is and what he's done in the business, would be more of a Q&A type, like you ask him questions, he'll answer it. You'll bring a bunch of questions and stuff. We might do some in-ring work, and, you know, he'll just see our character work and things like that. But then, like, there's other seminars, like I took a Ricky Morton seminar, and that was like a hands-on seminar where we actually got in the ring, we did some practice matches, and he gave us critiques. We just talked about NWA Crossfire. I did a seminar with them as well, with the Page sisters, and, you know, we did, you know, these 5-minute matches, and they gave us real good feedback on, you know, what they're looking for, how we can get booked on their shows, you know, what they're looking for, what we can improve on in our matches, how our promos looked, how our character development, you know, just whatever feedback they can give us to help us improve as wrestlers, because the point of a seminar is always to help. It's never to discredit or critique on a disrespectful level. The constructive criticism is always supposed to be of the utmost respect for you to improve as a wrestler. And, you know, to go to a seminar whenever you can, you know, it helps build your resume, and it helps you evolve into the wrestler you want to be.
So then, if I was looking to get in the business and I was asking you your opinion, then would you say as much as I can get to different seminars to learn different styles and critiques?
Yeah, I mean, you always want to try to learn from everyone. Not just try to keep it one-minded. Somebody's always got a different view of things, and something else might click for you. You might go in there thinking one thing, and you walk out thinking three different things. It doesn't necessarily make them better. It just makes it to where you have options to mold your character into what you want and your moveset and however you want to present yourself as a wrestler. You always want to get feedback from everyone you can. Legends, it doesn't matter. Like me, I ask everybody. I try to say, hey, did you see this? Did you see that? What do you think of this? What do you think of that? And it goes from 20-year veterans, and I can even ask people that have been in the business less than me, hey, what'd you think of this? You know, because everyone's got a different perspective on things. So you always want to try to take it, you know, with a grain of salt, obviously, because they're always trying to make you better. But at the same time, you want to listen to what they're saying.
That's good. That is definitely good advice. I think sometimes that the younger wrestlers like yourself end up getting bad reps because a lot of people think that y'all don't listen to veterans, that when they make a comment, y'all take it the wrong way, which I think is a bad rep, because just maybe one or two may do it doesn't mean your whole group is doing that. And to be appreciative of, like you said, just learning from a veteran that has a different view and take on what you're trying to do. And like you said, maybe it's something they say that may click in your head that, oh, that's what I was missing for my character, and can take you to the heights that you want to go.
Yeah, and it definitely helps you out, and it helps you build your character too at the same time and evolve it, if that makes sense. To where it's just not the same old thing anymore. You got to keep going with the times and keep rolling, because sometimes it gets stale. So you always want fresh eyes, and try to get that feedback as much as possible. If it's positive feedback, great, keep at it. The critiques and stuff, do what you can and just mold it to your style, and hopefully you get it fixed for next time.
One question that I did not ask you the last time you were on, um, and I don't think it was brought up, but again, you got to forgive me. I'm a little bit older. The brain don't click like it should. But can you tell me where you have wrestled at around the country?
I've wrestled a bit out in Kansas, obviously where I got my start out there. For a couple different companies out there. I've wrestled out there. Wrestled in North Carolina, my home state, my home city. I've been blessed with being able to wrestle in Charlotte, North Carolina, for a company out there called Extreme World Wrestling. A bunch, Georgia, Florida, and then Tennessee as well. While I was up there for JPWA, so I've kind of been around a little bit. Mostly sticking to the East Coast, I guess, because obviously that's where I'm at. But like I say, I still go out to Kansas once a month for my original trainers company, and still do shows out there. But for now, it's just up and down the East Coast.
Are you looking to expand your horizons if you get a chance to maybe go out to the West Coast and the Northern Pacific?
Yeah. I was actually talking to a company out in the Northern Pacific, out in Washington State, I believe. One of my old school Army buddies actually has a company out there that I think he has a hand in helping run, I think, or something like that. And they reached out to me a couple weeks ago about maybe flying me out to Oregon or Washington State, somewhere out there in the Pacific Northwest, to do a weekend thing with them or something coming up over the next few months or something like that. So I'm intrigued to always try to travel wherever I can. Texas is definitely always a bucket list for me. I haven't made it there yet. I've always wanted to wrestle in Texas, but as far as where else I want to go, sky's the limit. I have no objection.
And I always think too that is always a great thing, to go into different states and to learn, because all styles are not the same. And when you come to specific, like the Pacific Northwest, I know they have a different type of wrestling style, different from the South and California. Even with California, the Northern style is definitely different than the Southern style. So I think that's one, if you have that opportunity, is great to do, because you get to learn, and you get to learn how to tailor your style or change it for that particular audience that you're in front of.
Definitely, because you might be a good guy here, but out there you're a bad guy or something, because maybe you're unfamiliar or something like that. That's how it was for me a couple times. I mean, I wasn't necessarily a bad guy. I was just the new guy. So it wasn't like I was a bad guy. It's just I was the new guy. Like, Johnny Face never really been a bad guy. So, like, we've tried a couple times, in a few different companies to try to do that, and it never really worked out. So I just embraced being a baby face, obviously. But we've tried, and it's been tempted. But those new places, like you talk about, it's different wrestling in front of my fans in North Carolina than it is with my fans in Kansas. Like, it's a different environment. You gotta tweak things here and there. Things will work in North Carolina that don't work in Kansas, and vice versa.
When you run into that and you're learning to tweak your style, is it necessarily hard, or does it throw you off because you may be comfortable doing one style and you have to change it? Is it easier for you or harder?
It was harder for me, but then it goes back to that feedback that I was telling you about. I would send stuff to a couple different people, and be like, hey, what'd you think of this? All right, well, I tried the same thing in Kansas, and this is what happened. So what do you think? And they'll give me the feedback. All right, well, maybe you should stick with it in North Carolina, not in Kansas, or vice versa, whatever. But I would look to other people. I would look to veterans. I'd look to my buddies in the industry in wrestling and be like, hey, this didn't work here, but it kind of worked here. This worked here really well, but didn't work here at all. So I would go back to that. I wouldn't really try to make that call on my own, at least not anymore. Now I think I can kind of figure it out because I've kind of wrestled in both places, more to know what the crowd is like and what the fans are like. So now it's, I kind of can just adjust and, not need that feedback. But at the beginning of my career, I definitely I need those other eyes on.
Right. And I believe one of the big things is that you're, like you said, you're getting the time. So you're now being able to understand crowds and the ups and downs and the flow. So you can work, oh, okay, I was going to do this, but I see the crowd is going this way. So let me pivot to do this and bring them back to where I want them.
Yeah, like calling it on the fly is like one of the things I've always wanted to try to do. And that helps doing that with having to read that crowd and, being able to do that now without, trying to figure it out. I could kind of just listen and then I can kind of adjust or if need be and whatnot. But, at the same time, it's still pretty new to me. I'm still learning. I always got something to learn.
Well, and I think honestly, if you get to a point where you can't learn in the business, I think you need to get out of the business. That's just my own personal, even the 20, 30-year veterans, they can still learn because it's not the same from when they were doing it 20 years ago, 10 years ago, because crowds have adjust so much. And as I like to say, we as fans are so fickle that 1 minute we could love you doing one thing, and then all of a sudden it's like, it's getting stale.
Yeah.
So I think that it's always that growing pain and understanding that no matter who you are in the business, you can learn.
Yep. I always think that too. And that would, maybe that's the Army in me, I guess, because in the Army, we were always drilled. You can always learn something. Like there's always something to learn. Like, training never stops. There's always something to learn. And, I carried that over into wrestling too. And it's like, I told myself, even when I was recovering from the heart attack, last year, I was always learning something because I was watching film. I was watching wrestling matches, and I was taking notes and seeing how they were doing things and all that. And I wanted to try some things when I started getting back in the ring and all that. So, I never stopped learning. I still don't to this day. And I always believe that if you stop learning, like you say, then maybe it's time to do something else.
Definitely. I think one thing also is how you have fun with it, because some people don't take the time to enjoy what's happening. They get so caught up in the job instead of really learning how and enjoying the times that's in front of them. Because as one thing I definitely learned, and this is a life lesson also, life can go very, very quickly. And you have to take that moment to learn and enjoy yourself.
Hey, I was just looking at the thing. Hey, Christopher Battle, if you can read this message, or if somebody can get this message to you, I'll even send it to you myself if I gotta crop it. Prayers for your mom, and I really hope she gets better. And I'm sorry, and it would have been great to meet you and look forward to that. But prayers go out to your family, buddy. Christopher Battle, definitely.
Always want to hope for everyone to be safe, and I'm sorry to hear that he's going through what he's going through.
Yeah, I just saw his comment in the chat, so I just wanted to put that out there because he said he wasn't going to be able to be at the show this Saturday. So hope all goes well, Mr. Battle, with your family, and we're thinking of you and we're praying for you.
Yes, definitely. I say this not to put any thing towards me, but Mr. Battle, I understand what you're going through. Having something similar with my mother, so I definitely relate and definitely send prayers for you.
Definitely.
So with that, what are you? I asked what you're looking for in your quick journey, but what with this match? What are you looking to do with your new 6-man partners?
I got no I mean, I hope I really just hope we can just do what we came what our title is, Star Spangled Butt Kickers. Like let's just have fun in the name of America and our country's veterans and first responders, and kick as much tail as we can, and wreak as much havoc as we can, I guess, and celebrate, honor, and memorialize at the same time.
Definitely. So we talked about last time about titles and doing different things. I want to look to the future and ask what title is on your radar that the champion needs to be watching out for you?
Like, it doesn't matter where it's at?
It doesn't matter.
Well, I got a couple that I'm keeping an eye on right now. Right now, there's an Independence Championship out there in Kansas at Heartland Championship Wrestling that I've been having my eye on since my heart attack. So I've been keeping an eye on that thing. So it doesn't matter the holder; it just matters about the belt championship. That's what matters. All right, the holder doesn't matter. Like, me and the holder can go to war for it. But what that Independence Championship means to me, I was the first ever holder of it, and I've won it on Veterans Day a couple years ago. And to be able to fight back from that heart attack and win that belt back eventually, that is something that will just bring that story full circle about my resilience, especially after the heart attack, because that's a belt that I will always, in a championship that I will always want to hold again, because I had that heart attack and never had the chance to get it back. So that's one for sure. And the other one I'll see this Saturday, it's the NWA Television Championship held by Brian Idol. I don't know why that championship belt is just so beautiful to me, but I would just love it if it was just right here in the war room with me, and not a fake one either, the real deal. So I've always loved the World Television Championship belt, like the way it's designed and the red strap, and just ever since I was a kid, I was like, I want to hold that belt. I mean, the 10 pounds of gold, yes, but the red belt was just cool to me as a kid.
I definitely agree with you. It's something about that red stripe, and I think it was more because it was the first one that I can remember being so different.
Yeah, it was red. It was not black. It wasn't like, and I mean, even other feds had like different colored belt straps, and the Intercontinental title was white and all that, but that red, you never saw a red belt before.
And on top of it, I think too are the title holders that really just stands out in my mind. One of the greatest wrestlers that was never a world champion, which is sad to me, is Arn Anderson.
Yeah.
And I think every time I think world television title, I think they need to rename it to the Arn Anderson television title. It is an amazing thing. So you're out there letting people know you got championships. Watch your back, right?
Yeah, I got an eye on a lot of stuff. Like I said, I've been sitting back watching since recovering from that heart attack. So there's a lot of stuff there's a lot of stuff I've been watching out for, especially when it comes to championships and who's holding them and who's doing what. You know, I don't skip a beat. I still got that recon.
Hey, what else would you expect from a veteran?
Exactly.
Well, I am so happy to have you back. And again, like I said last time, you have an open invitation. Do you want to give any shout outs and give your social media and just let the crowd, our fans know where you're going to be?
Yeah. And I really want to go back to VPW this Saturday, Veterans Pro Wrestling, Spring Hill, Florida. It's really going to be an exciting night, and I'm happy to be a part of that event. I really am. It's an honor that they decided to bring me in, or they even thought about me. You know, when I got the message and was like, hey, you know, we really want to bring you in for this show, I was like, you know, of course, I'm all about giving back to veterans and first responders, you know, because it doesn't even have to do with me being a veteran. You know, my family's been, I'm a multi-generational military veteran, and my lineage can go all the way back to the American Revolution. You could date it all the way back to that. So they've been defending this country for a long time. And, you know, for me to be able to just say thank you, you know, and be a part of this event this Saturday in Spring Hill, Florida, it's an honor. And then, you know, a couple weeks from now, I'll be back in Kansas at Heartland Championship Wrestling. They actually got a huge show out there at the Kansas State Fair on 9 September. They have a huge show coming up at the State Fair on September 9th, Heartland Championship Wrestling. And then, you know, I got that Ricky the Dragon Steamboat seminar and NWA Crossfire right after that, pretty much. So I got a lot going on over these next couple months, and you know, everyone can stay up to date with me and everywhere on all social medias. It's just at Johnny Face 704 everywhere: YouTube, TikTok, X, Instagram, Facebook. At Johnny Face 704, and you guys can keep up with me in all the battlefields, and you can see how VPW is going to go this Saturday night as well. So I'm excited for what's to come there, Professor Bear. The last time we talked, I really wasn't doing anything, but now things are starting to roll.
And I'm glad it is for you. Man, I had no doubt that once the ball started rolling, it's going to roll, and you're going to do some amazing things. So again, thank you so much for joining me again, and definitely looking forward to, sadly enough, I can't be at the show, but I'm hoping to hear about it. And maybe if some particular person, I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to call him out, but they could get me a tape so I could see it or something, I would be gracious enough to watch it and give my thoughts. But
definitely. And you know, I'm excited for this Saturday as well. But you know, I'm excited that you always think of me, bringing me on and telling stories and all that. But what I'm most excited about is seeing you in October in person and being able to shake your hand.
Yes,
can't
sir.
wait for that, man.
It is definitely going to be fun, and I'm looking forward to it too. So, guys, girls, thank you so much for tuning in to this special edition of A Bear's Thought. We're going to have 2 more shows this week with some of the talent that's going to be on this amazing show on September 6th from Spring Hill, Florida. And it's to give back to veterans and to the first responders, to thank them for everything they do for us as a country. So once again, this is Johnny Faith. I am Professor Bear, and this has been A Bear's Thought. Thank you so much.